Hey guys, welcome back. I'm back today with the heavy gun build. This is going to be centric for heavy guns only. The Gat Plaz, the Holy Fire, the Cryolator, etc. We're going to be running them types of weapons. I want to show you my preferred role on my Gat Plaz, the way I usually run it. And yeah, we're going to get right into it with that. With the armor, my preferred roles for armor for PvE when it comes to the raids, obviously, and also the card build, etc., all that good stuff in a small demonstration to show you what the output can be. And you can kind of take your build and you can try it out and see if you can get more or less damage or see which ones you can improve on. But yeah, we're going to get right into it, guys, so see you in just a second. Okay, first things first, this is your special loadout. This is how I have my loadout for. It's 4 strength, 6 perception, 10 endurance, 6 charisma, 10 intelligence, 10 agility, and 10 luck. This is a heavy crit build, obviously, so you're going to be using a lot of Vats. It can be used outside of Vats, but when it comes to the raids and stuff, you want as much luck as possible, as much intelligence as possible, because that's what's going to give you the most damage output. And strength being, you know, you have to have a set amount of cards for your strength, but with that legendary 5 strength legendary 5 strength, along with that 4, you'll have plenty. And the mods I run on my armor allow you to give you a lot of weight distribution, and it allows you to free up some of the card space. Alright guys, this is my Gat Plaz I normally use. It is a Juggernaut, 25-35, 25-25 technically, with polished. Damage output being at almost full buff is 125 and 156. I do have to pop a Psycho buff, or Dark, or High Voltage Hefe, whichever one works for you. I prefer the darks or even a vodka because I use Juggernauts, so that pushes my damage up higher. And if you notice, it says 83%. Okay, with Juggernauts, it's been changed recently, and it does give you a massive damage output, and I'll show you how. If you look here, I have 836 health. So obviously, the amount of HP you have directly reflects how much damage output you have. So it works like Bloody, except a higher HP, more damage. So lower, more radiation as human, as a ghoul, you can literally get to the point of Bloody with Juggernauts. You just have to push your health as high as it'll go. The higher the health, the more damage. If you get 600 health, it's 60%. If you got 1,000 health, it's 100% damage. So you can go higher than this. I know I can go higher than this. I know I can get in the 90 range, like the 90% range, obviously, like 97, 98-ish, if I push it really hard. But even at 80%, that's a massive amount of damage. So just FYI. Now on to the armor. The armor I use is full Vanguard, full AP regen, full FDC, the food, drink, and chem reduction by 20%. So if you use all 5, obviously, you don't have to use Through Hiker, you don't have to use Travel Pharmacy. They are completely omitted. And it saves you a massive amount of, well, not massive, it saves you 4 perk points that you can put somewhere else. Obviously, Rangers all the way through. I want my damage output to be high. Calibrated shocks on the legs. On the arms, I use Gimbal. There really ain't any other additive that matters, but if you are going free aim sometimes, you reduce hipfire accuracy, you increase hipfire accuracy by 15%, and your scoped accuracy is increased by 15% per appendage. So this is just the left arm. So the right arm and the left arm work in conjunction. So it's actually 30% hipfire accuracy and 30% more scope accuracy. So it's actually good for anything when it comes to shooting anything, whether it be a Gat Plaz, a Holy Fire, even a laser rifle is benefited by this. And a pepper shaker, etc. It's all benefits. So this is my preferred roles, and you get the 25 AP regen for the Vulcan. Vulcan is still the best. As of now, is still the best, power armor of the game. There's nothing that comes close to it. The only thing I think comes close to it is T65 or the Union. When it comes to Union, you can use Union in the raids because you pretty much omit the poison from like the late stages in the snake. You don't admit it, but it makes it where you're not going to take a lot of damage from it at all. Like your main thing is going to be like AP, obviously. So it's not going to be a major concern, and you should be able to catch it in plenty of time. Alright, and the card build. As you can see, I said strength does not matter because I just use all the heavy gunner perks. I have been trying out different ones, mostly for, I'll show you where they're going to be. Easy target, 75 range for crippled targets, and I believe it's love the spread, but scatter shot, I believe it is. Yep, there it is. Scatter shot. Alright. It does do a lot of limb damage, obviously, and limbs do make a big difference. This would be beneficial with the robot. So if you would move some points around, 4 points exactly, you can move those back and forth and enter into builds for the robot alone, because it will apply with Twisted Muscles. Twisted Muscles does a massive amount of limb damage, 63%. That this serum, Twisted Muscle. No, FY, that could be very beneficial for the robot. For everything else, that's only for the robot. Everything else, it really doesn't matter because you're going to be doing so much damage, it's not going to matter. Oh, oops, excuse me. I backed up a little too far. Alright, so Center Masochist, this does work for heavy guns. I've been testing out myself. It absolutely helps heavy guns. It absolutely matters. 75% down range. Yeah, it works. It legit works. Concentrated fire, I'm going to be using Vats. So yeah, I get the higher accuracy and the 3% damage per shot. So you're going to be using gap plays. So you're going to bump your damage up really, so you're going to get to the cap pretty much really fast. Because that 3% damage per shot is going to move up really quickly. Fast firing gun. Bullet shield, another obvious one. You're shooting a heavy weapon. This is a survivability thing. This is you deflecting. You're deflecting the damage that you're being supposed to be taking, and you just get rid of it. So use that when you use a heavy gun. It's always beneficial. PvE or PvP. Well, PvP kinda not really, but PvE always. Radiation power, same thing. Damage card, you're gonna do more damage. That's it. Keep your glow up. Glowing gut. Like I said, we're gonna use toxic goo. So yeah, obviously you want to keep your glow because the glow is where you get the most damage from a ghoul. Life Giver, because I said I'm using Juggernauts, I want to push my health as far as it'll go to get the most damage I can possibly get. That's why I'm not really worried about the strength with the cripple cards. I'm more worried about the damage output because the weapon I'm using is all about health. How much health I have, I get more damage from that than those cards. The limb's great, but when it comes to just flat out use, the Life Giver is more beneficial because you're going to up your damage massively. Ironclad is just something just for extra protection. You don't have to use this. I find it kind of redundant. You don't really have to use it at all, but you know, it doesn't hurt at all. It's just always going to be a little bit of protection. You're always mutated, as always, so strange numbers is a given. Tenderizer, PV, applies more damage to your target. Definitely use that. United Ordeal, be on a team with anyone and get the 3+3 special to your stats. Simple as that. Get free extra stats on every stat for just because you're with somebody on a team. First aid for healing. Stabilized because you want to gain your accuracy, and the 45% armor penetration is the main thing that worries about that. You want to get that, and it also will push stagger, by the way. But that 45% armor penetration is the nice part. Well, excuse me. Science, we're using energy-based weapons. Holy Fire, Cryolator, Gap Blast, they're all energy-based weapons. They're all energy applied. So high intelligence, around 30, only 30 is the cap. You're going to get the massive amount of damage from that. So yes, absolutely use that. Cryptologist, I do use this because I do have a Cryolator on me. You do not have to use this. It's not necessarily important, but if you're going to run a Cryolator on you, you might as well put this on because it's going to boost your cryo damage. And it will boost cryo damage on any weapon you use, whether it be a cold shoulder or the grenade launcher from the raids, the 2-shot bloody one. Yeah, it'll apply more damage. I mean, why not? Mad Scientist, energy weapon, 20% damage. Simple as that. Glow. Science Monster, because if I do get hit, obviously, you know, it's 15% damage for 10 seconds. So that's 10 seconds a long time to be killing something. So as soon as you get touched, you automatically get a 15% jump, including the other cards that already give you massive jumps. The Mad Scientist, the Radiation Power, etc. They're always giving you massive jumps. Batteries included because I needed some other cards, so I figured to do that to kind of help with weight distribution. Let's say all the gunslinger perks, obviously. You know, covert op for the range damage, for sneak attack damage. You crouch, you get a sneak. As long as you're not in danger, it works. If you're running against a snake or something like that, not super important because you're pretty much seeing the entire time. It does help beneficially if you're not being attacked with a snake. Let's say, because if you have 4 people in a raid and it's kind of like focused on one player, so when it dives, you know, you can get covert to kick in for that reason. Like I said, weak point damage, always great, no matter what is your weak point, whether it be the belly of a Deathclaw or the eye of the snake. It's going to do 12% bonus damage. Why not? Kick it in. Of course, 1% range damage for each spawn and onslaught stack, 3% plus 3 for max stacks. So we're going to get 13 onslaught right off the bat and get +1 range weak spot damage per onslaught. So you're talking about 13% damage just from the onslaught alone, not counting the gunslinger for weak spots. So that's 25% damage boost. Packet light because AP, we're gonna be using Vats. I mean, yes, of course. As long as you're not overcoming, but you shouldn't be, your AP is gonna regenerate. So always use that. Action duel for AP regen as well. Now over there, Bloody Mess, you can use Class Freak when you're not being like going for bosses. Because I do use a lot of serums myself personally, so anything that negates that strength wise, anything like that, yeah, use that in place when you can suppress those serums or just not have them or not run the serums. This is going to be like critical to your build, especially since you're heavy Vats build. Yeah, just run Bloody Mess in place of that. That way you get that 15% bonus damage. Better crits, we're using crits, 100% damage. 4-leaf clover because every time you miss in Vats, you get that your critical meter based on luck. So you just get more critical meter. So always use that. Critical savvy because we're gonna make it where every other shot we're critting pretty much. Between that and 4-leaf clover, you're gonna be critting a freaking lot. Faulty spots is a weak point damage. Again, 15%. It's just gonna keep compounding. Every time you shoot something, and if you miss, that next shot's gonna be massively damaged. And if you're hitting every shot, it's still gonna do massive damage just because it's a weak spot. That's the eye for the snake, belly for the death claw as examples. And glowing criticals because it is basically another better critical, just as about half as good. So 50%, so you get 150% crit just from 2 cards alone. So yeah, if your goal, always use this because if you're going for a crit build, because yeah, you may have to give up something here or there, but it's still going to be more damaging over time. So always, I would say use that obviously. Legendary perks. Oh wow, I got a Master Infiltrator on for some reason. But I can't put follow through back on. So range sneak damage increases by 40% for 10 seconds. So as soon as you start shooting something for the next 10 seconds, you're going to get a 40% boost. So like even with the snake, if he's not aggro to you, he's aggro to your friend, it's going to jump up 9% between the covert and that. You're only going to get a 9% boost in damage. That's not counting crits or anything like that. It's going to increase that too. Do that. And of course the layout for these specials to allow me to use the perk points I have, which coincidence is a lie. But yeah, LIEAS. So strength, obviously, endurance, intelligence, agility, and luck, and whichever way you want to form that, if you want to put strength first. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That is the build all the way through, and the armor and the preferred weapon I use. I would say use Juggernauts. I will harp on this. Juggernauts is an amazing first roll now. So like I said, it's up to you. You can use Aristocrats if you want the burn damage for, say, the Holy Fire, obviously, or you can use 2-shot or Jug, obviously. I don't think anti-armor is working that well personally. I feel like it's not very good. And of course, I also have my quad Cryolator. This is more of a PvP centric weapon, obviously. So, but yeah, I use Psycho Buff and I use Darks most of the time. Darks because it boosts my damage, and then also I'm in a custom server, that's why I have a lot of carry weight. But even without this boost of carry weight, I usually have around 600 carry weight. So as long as you have 2 calibrated and you're kind of buffed up like I am, even with strength, even though my strength is not massively high, it's pretty high. You'll have a lot of carry weight. You'll have around 600 carry weight with fire like Steam. Steam the Smite, the Smoke, Fire, Violet Fillet, which gives you that additional boost of carry weight. You're still gonna be looking around 500 to 600 carry weight. So you should be well in range of carry weight. And I got a bunch of other junk on me that I don't need. Just stuff. I don't need that either. But yeah, so I'm gonna show you a little demonstration real quick, and then I'm gonna let you guys get to it. So
you should know I get it poppin' by my name. I do. Man, these hoes ain't never rockin' with no lane. That's you, bitch. I'm married to this motherfucking game. It's true. If you really think you got me in your aim, then shoot. Let's go. This isn't love, no sir. Although I appear to be grinning, you get in touch with my bad side. That's a bad ride. I'm severely diminished. Check out the trophies. I seriously did it, and you just vicariously winning. I'm kinda weird, I admit it, bitch. I'm in the building, but I don't stay near any tenants. Lane of my own, the label is cold. We raking in gold. I'm labeled a goat. You borrow my style and can't even pay off the loan. You phony, you fake, you a clone. I'm ape with the flow. You think you the greatest, but no. Put down the cocaine and Patron.
So yeah, guys, that's it. So yeah, use it at your discretion. Have fun with it. And this is, like I said, this is my personal build. Yeah, have fun with it, and I hope you enjoy it. And thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you on the next one, guys.